So, to recap, Tawanda doesn't argue with sick people. Tamar's face cracked. Tawanda is threatened to be beaten up. Tamar's the victim again. Everyone's gaslighting her by pointing out the obvious. They were being nice. I would have just said she's cuckoo. The meds are not working, and she's a disgrace to anyone suffering with mental illness that actually wants progress in their life. I'm not a nice person, and we're back. So, Tony calls Tamar out for who she really is, a mean girl. And if Tamar wanted to prove otherwise, she flunked. Everything that they've said about her thus far, she's outdone herself in proving right. Tony says that basically that reputation surgery that Tamar tried to perform on herself is looking the same way her cosmetic surgery is. A mess. Like my voice right now. And those were in my words, not hers. Tony's nice, you know. Too nice. This right here is the part that makes my brain roll its eyes. Tamar and the internet are acting like the sisters committed emotional war crimes over a few lines of truth. When in reality, what the sisters have been saying is an ant to the boot Tamar has been stomping them with this entire conversation. And not even a regular boot, a work boot with the steel toe and dried cement on it. Tony hits her with, "You are the reason you're in the situation you're in. Amen." Implying Tony has the inside scoop on what Tamar's life is really like, you know? At this, Tamar collapsed like a clearance blow-up mattress losing air. 1 second she's inflated with confidence, the next she's hissing, sinking, and fighting for structural integrity. So Tamar snaps, "I'm in a great situation," with the same energy a foreclosure notice has taped to the front door. Loud, defensive, and not convincing anybody. She follows it with the narcissist national anthem, "You guys are all just jealous," and the home of the delusional. I hate this so much because it's such a weak argument, even coming from someone that's actually enviable. On Tamar, it's looking like SpongeBob trying to lift weights. Besides the obvious that no one in their right mind would want to be a stark, raving, mad lunatic, or be so insecure that you treat plastic surgery like it's a punch card reward system. I have never seen a stable person with a good head on their shoulders that accuse others of being jealous of them. Ever. It's always the most chaotic person in the room. The one whose life looks like a storage unit after a tornado screaming about envy. That simply does not exist. So she starts singing badly, looking as mentally ill as hell, saying this is Grammy throat right here. No, it's thrush and it needs to be treated. And while she's over there vocalizing her breakdown, Tony tries to be the bigger person and says she's going to be mad at herself later. Tawanda says no she won't. I agree. Tamar seems to be mad at Tawanda saying no she won't. She'd really be mad at me. My guess is because Tawanda is putting it nicely, but Tamar having no conscience is breathing meaning underneath her words. Honestly, I don't like how Tony's saying she'll regret this later because that makes Tamar's behavior sound like a hangover. Something she can sleep off, drink water, eat crackers, and return to normal. This is Tamar's factory setting, okay? Tamar doesn't come back to normal. Normal isn't a place she has a passport to. It's really more like the rarest birth defect that can only be partially corrected. And even then, the doctor pulls the family aside like, we did everything we could. Tamar becomes completely inaudible due to the fact that every single consonant is a bleep. The Braxton show becoming a Robot Chicken Muppet segment is hilarious to me. But unfortunately, I could not make out what demon tongue phrase she said to make Tony jump up. Oh wells. So Tony jumps up like she's been activated by a secret command word. Tamar jumps up with the posture of every man in a BET soap opera that's about to ruin the scene with bad decisions. Then the producers or camera crew, whatever, they rush in and stand between them like cardboard cutouts. They slide in front of Tamar and Tony with all the stopping power of a dollar store room divider. You could honestly blow on them and they'd sway. Trina makes the right move in my opinion to wedge herself in between Tamar and Tony because, let's be honest, how sturdy is cardboard? Trina assures Tony that she is above all of this, and I agree. Then Tamar reaches past the cardboard and grabs Trina and kicks her. This right here is why I recycle cardboard. It folds, it cracks, it takes up space, and when you actually need it to do something, it just stands there watching you get kicked. Tawanda hugs Tony and calms her down and says, let's call the police, which I would have done honestly, relative or not. If you act like you're on bath salts, I'm either calling the blue or an exorcist, and the blue is closer. After Tony leaves, Tamar calls them jealous again. Are you really gonna say that about your sisters, the ones that know what you look like without your makeup? This is when Tawanda says the words that are the equivalent of reading a narcissist her exorcism rites. I feel sorry for you. These words to a narcissist are like clocking Pennywise upside the head with that rock. Like handing a vampire a garlic breadstick from Olive Garden. So if you ever find yourself using these words with somebody that you suspect of being a narcissist, you better have a priest on standby. Anyway, where was I again? Oh yeah. So Tamar comes back now and convinces the camera crew to stand down, saying that she's not going to hurt her sister. And those cardboard cutouts, those damn cardboard cutouts, fold on command. You guys make me sick. You're not going to hurt your sister, really? We must be talking to the host now, not the demonic entity tethered to the body. Tamar says to Trina, counting on her fingers as high as she can, to 2. 1, you put your hands on me first. 2, you got me effed up. And that's it. All of that could have been won. Would have saved you the brain power. And she says, you know how you say you feel sorry for me? I would be mad at me too. In what universe does I feel sorry for you translate into I'm so jealous that I'm mad? Which I don't know about y'all, but no one can send me spiraling into jealousy. My anger is earned. You've got to be hot garbage to get it. And Tamar makes the cut. And she twirls around showing us what the sisters have naturally, making an entire episode about having to get butt injection to even out the capital P situation she's got going on really backfired on her in this moment, making her look insecure to the trained eye, which I have two very, very judgmental trained eyes. I'm like the Santa that decides if you're naughty or trash, except you only get something for Christmas if you're trash. A video in your honor, dragging you, and with me every day is Christmas. Trina and Tawanda are unfazed, and Tamar, fazed by their unfazedness, after walking off, comes back and says, "You so mad. You so mad. You so jealous," which sounded more like a threat and a command. Like, is that an order, Sergeant? Be jealous right now. Or else. She says, because if you weren't, you wouldn't have tried to ruin my business. Narcs are so obsessed with people being jealous of them. I guess because they're jealous of everybody else. So they want a day off. I would want a day off for eternity if I were them. Couldn't imagine being that miserable. And this is coming from somebody whose name is I Hate Everyone. I actually get a lot of joy in hating everyone. Makes me love the people I actually like more. And she says, because if you weren't, you wouldn't have tried to ruin my business. You never really settled on who it was that sent you the cease and desist. And you've already clarified that it couldn't have been Tawanda because she doesn't know where you live. But you're looking at Tawanda and you're mad at Tawanda. So anyway, that's the end of it. I'm so tired of the Braxtons. I'm so glad that I'm done with this. Now I can pay attention to other things that make me upset and make me hate people. And I so love that for me. I really want to get to Cynthia Erivo and why Black women trigger people so much when they take on big roles. And I really want to do a Wicked review or an all things Wicked video so I can really talk about how I feel about the two movies. But first, I want to conclude all of this. So we're going to wrap it up in the Capitol. Do I believe Tamar's claims? Absolutely not. She threw a lot of at them really fast. Then, after being responded to, she pivots to the next thing without resolution. She was disinvited to the bachelorette party that she disinvited herself to. Tawanda's alibi for the cease and desist is confirmed by Tamar, but she's still a suspect. The money given to Tawanda in 2018 is a loan, although Tony confirmed that they always do things like that for each other. And Tamar herself has had things done for her in the past as a gift and not held over her head. Used Tawanda being struck by a car as a loan shark moment, which is disgusting. Discovered she was on Tawanda's family plan for years, but shows no proof other than her words. Acted like our favorite Raggedy Ann doll to show us that she's not crazy. Accused 3 beautiful women of being jealous without adding reasons why they should be. Nope, don't believe her. She can kiss my ass with that. Tamar's character has flatlined. Absolutely no resuscitation. My impression about this whole argument is that it was gross. And people's reaction, confusifying. You've got a room full of people that are calm and obviously holding back while a person jumps up and throws drinks. Every word is an accusation or censored, threatens people, assaults people with their back turned, rocking back and forth like they didn't fly over the cuckoo's nest, they flew into the cuckoo's nest, like Jack Nicholson in that movie. And this is who y'all are rallying behind? Makes sense the world is becoming increasingly vapid. Makes sense we have the president we have. Makes sense the butt munches of the world have a lot of fans. And it makes sense why I hate everyone.